Some big news came out this weekend and Bitcoin is pumping. In today's video, we'll be going over the exact news that is causing Bitcoin to pump on this Saturday, and we'll also be going over the recent price action of Bitcoin and stocks, where I'm looking to trade, which levels, and how you should be navigating this market. If you enjoy the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So as I said, Bitcoin is now pumping massively, and why is that the case? Well, the US just came out and published reciprocal tariff exclusions for computers, smartphones, and chip-making equipment. Big tech is back. Now, the reason why tariffs were previously a concern for technology companies is because companies like Apple, for example, have a lot of parts that are made in China. Now, I read somewhere that if iPhones were to be fully made in the US, it would likely cost over $10,000 per iPhone to be made. Obviously, that's not a sustainable business model for Apple. So these exemptions will certainly help big tech, and obviously, Bitcoin being the asset that it is impacted by this news. As we can see, we're now dropping just a little bit. This is, of course, the 5-minute chart, but if we zoom out and look at the key levels that we really want to pay attention to, this is the weekly chart for Bitcoin. Now, if we close the week like this, it would be very positive, a huge bullish green candle for Bitcoin despite putting in a new low. Now, a lot of people are talking about the fact that on the daily chart, we have formed a double bottom, and this is entirely true. There is a chance that this is the confirmed bottom, and there's a lot more bullish news that's actually coming out. So as we can see, we tapped into around 74.5K twice, and now we're starting to see a reversal. Speaking of lines that we need to pay attention to, you see this white line that I drew from the top here? It's looking like Bitcoin on the daily chart is trying to break out of this range. Now, this has been a diagonal trend line intact for a very long time, and you can see that every single time that we tapped into this level, Bitcoin got rejected. It started at the all-time high on January 20th, then on January 30th, we tapped into this level once again, got rejected. Once again, on February 21st, the same situation over here. Once again over here, and then if we come all the way down to this level, we even wicked above it at the beginning of April. And right now, as I'm recording this video, we are trying to break above this diagonal trend line. Now, if we can break above here and hold it as support, it could be a very interesting long. So the key levels that you want to pay attention to if we are to break past this level would be right around here, because so many milestones coincide at the exact same spot. And here's what I mean. First of all, we have 86.5 to 87.5K, which is a key level that we've been talking about on the channel for months now. Now, the reason being is every time Bitcoin taps into this level, we do see some kind of reaction. And also, it was the previous level that we consolidated at before making a new all-time high in January. So this is a very important level, but that's not the only reason why it's important. You can see this blue line on the chart over here. That is the 200-day moving average. Another super important level for Bitcoin to get above if it's about to set a new all-time high. And the next level is the bottom of this bull market support band range, which is this green line over here, tapping into the 86.5 to 87.5K. So what I'm getting at here is that if you are longing Bitcoin, you should be paying attention to this level up here because it's likely to act as resistance. But if we can break above this level, hold it as support, we would then be targeting 91.8K. Yes, that high. And if we can reclaim 91.8K, we are certainly back in business for Bitcoin. And you can take a screenshot of this if you want, but these are the 4 conditions up here that I'm paying attention to for me to be a full bull. We shared this in my previous videos, but I just wanted to give you a quick reminder. These are the most important levels that you need to pay attention to. Okay, so now that we covered that and talked about the exemption on tech products, there is some more big news that just came out. And that is that the Federal Reserve is absolutely ready to help stabilize the market if needed. Does this mean potential rate cuts? Wink, wink. That's why I said, hodl Bitcoin and thank me later. From a spot perspective, hitting that bottom, I shared with you that I was buying Bitcoin right around $75,000. Now we have since bounced. Is the low in? It's anyone's best guess. But right now, if we take a look at the price action, this is looking ultimately very positive. There is this level up here that I'm a little bit concerned about, and I will make sure to keep you updated as it develops. But for now, if we break above this diagonal trend line, it's good for a long. And that reminds me, if you want to trade this price action, you have the first link in my description down below, which brings you directly to Weeks. They have crazy bonuses going on right now, which basically gives you free money. Event number 1, you can get up to $100 for just connecting your phone number to your Weeks account after signing up with the first link in my description. And you also get a 20% deposit bonus. That means, for example, that if you deposit $5,000 into your Weeks account, you get $1,000 back for free just for holding the balance in your account. It really is that simple. And of course, the last event at the bottom of the screen, based on your trading volume, you can earn up to $28,000. So if you're already trading the crypto market, this is certainly a no-brainer. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. Again, it's the first link in my description down below. So taking a look at Bitcoin dominance, I really want to touch on this once again because now that Bitcoin started to pump, a lot of people are hopeful that an altcoin season is coming. And actually, there's a few cryptocurrencies that I wanted to talk about because we have seen them pump massively. But for now, my prediction about filling this wick looks like it's about to come to fruition. We are so close, and once it fills, I would be expecting the next key level for Bitcoin dominance to hit around 66%. And then if monetary policy doesn't change in the coming months and we're still in quantitative tightening, we could potentially expect all the way up to 72%. Now that is a huge one out there. Personally, I'm happy that we're about to fill the wick that we discussed, and I do think that 66% is also inevitable given these current market conditions. Now, Bitcoin is also pumping because the stock market got a very nice bounce to end out the week. As we can see, some solid green candles since we formed this bottom all the way down to 4,800 for the S&P 500. And that is despite the fact that the overall US consumer confidence is at a 45-year low. People are scared. People are worried. There is still market uncertainty despite the relief rally that we're getting, which is why it also makes sense that if people want exposure to an asset class, they will be going to the top dog in that asset class. In other words, the king, Bitcoin. But if we take the chance to look at some of the other cryptocurrencies, I wanted to discuss 3 specific ones, and not necessarily because I think that they're high potential altcoins, but more because I'm starting to notice a shift in the market. Now, if you're part of our Discord community, you'll remember that I've been shorting a lot of new token launches and new meme coins in particular. We've made a lot of profit, and actually I'll show you how the trades played out at the end of this video, but this was one that we looked at called Baby, which is basically a Bitcoin staking platform, and they went ahead and launched their own token. Now in the Discord community, I talked about potentially shorting it right around here, but we can see that over the past few days, we're starting to see a massive pump for this token. And then I was also looking at a new token called Prompt. And as we can see, another massive surge, up basically 90% in a single day. And another one, you'll definitely remember this one if you're part of our Discord. We shorted this token basically right at launch and we made significant profits, but look how it has since recovered and put in a massive new all-time high. The reason why I'm bringing up these tokens is because it could indicate to us that there is a shift ongoing in the market. Over the past 2 months, a lot of the new token launches were absolutely tanking, and that's how we made a lot of profit trading this market. But this is potentially the shift that we've been waiting for, where these new launches actually start to pump afterwards. Super interesting to see, but I just wanted to share it with you because we're potentially entering a new paradigm of the crypto market. Now let's quickly get back to Bitcoin. Whales are buying Bitcoin like never before. As we can see on this chart, this is the total balance and balance change of large Bitcoin holders between a 1K and a 10K balance, and it's literally just going straight up. Whales have been accumulating, especially with this recent market correction. And something that's even more interesting that you do need to consider here is the fact that the overall Bitcoin balance on exchanges continues to drop. As we can see here, this goes all the way back to around early 2023, and this green graph over here represents the Bitcoin balance on exchanges. What do you see here? It's just a consistent downtrend. Yes, there's a little bit of pumps here and there on this chart, but ultimately over the past couple years, exchanges have been running out of Bitcoin, which is why you should at the very least own some Bitcoin. Not financial advice, of course, but I have been accumulating Bitcoin the lower that we go. And the final thing that I want to share with you before we go over our recent trade history is the bull market peak indicators. What do you see here? Hold 100%. None of the bull market peak indicators have flashed, and this typically allows you to sell near the top. As we can see, out of the 30 indicators, 0 have flashed. This tells me that we are still very much in a bull market. Now, yes, in my previous video, I talked about the lower levels that if we were to breach, I would consider that the bull market is over, but that would certainly be an abnormality, and also stocks would have to drop for that to happen. For now, the bull market is still very much on, and Bitcoin is pumping with this recent news. Now let's wrap up the video going over what I shared in the paid Discord community down below. 11 out of 11. So far, every single trade that I shared with our pro Discord community members closed in profit, with most of them seeing over a 250% gains. Now, I won't scroll up too much, but you can see that we've had a lot of profit right here, $11,000 in profit. And the higher I go, the more gains you can see that we made. I'll be the first to tell you that it's impossible to keep this kind of success rate going forever, because that's just the facts. But so far, it has been absolutely fantastic. I hope you legends have taken advantage of some of these trades. I saw that a few of our pro members made tens of thousands of dollars based on the trades that I shared in the Discord community. As I'm sure you noticed in this recent downturn, there are less and less new launches, which means that the opportunities to implement the shorting strategy are fewer, but I will always do my best to identify them and adapt with new profitable strategies. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is not to only invite you into our pro Discord community, but also this goes over what I just discussed in the YouTube video. The fact that we're starting to see some of these new altcoins launch and see a sustained pump. So our strategy of shorting new tokens may in fact be coming to an end. Of course, I will be updating you as this progresses, and if you want to join our Discord community, it's the second link in my description down below. That sums up today's quick Saturday video. I hope you all have a lovely weekend, and I will see you in tomorrow's video.